What's going on, guys? It's Dylan for the Bottom Line View, back again for another video, and today is another banger on the Bottom Line View. First off, before I get started, thank you guys for supporting the Bottom Line View. We're this close to getting to 2,000 subscribers. This will be the 994th video on the channel, and we're close to 2,000. So both milestones of 1,000 videos and 2,000 subscribers are about to hit. So we appreciate all of you guys supporting us throughout the years and continuous work that we put in from me, Mitch, Kevin, Adam, Fiddy, everybody involved in the channel. We appreciate their work, and we appreciate you guys for supporting our work. And we like to always look to the future. But today's video is also going to be looking at the future, not of the channel, but of the NBA. NBA is always evolving. You got new players coming in from the college level, trying to make their impact in the NBA. And today we're going to look at 5 guys that are looking to get NBAs. I think they're destined to get an NBA MVP. There's two rules to this. You can fall in either category, besides one man we'll talk about a little bit later on. You either have had to be in the NBA for 5 seasons or less, or be 25 years of age or younger. And the reason I put it into that perspective is because there's a lot of people in the NBA right now who could be deserving of the MVP award, but have either played more than 5 seasons or are older than 25 years old. So, you know, guys like James Harden and Russell Westbrook, they're in the candidacy. They're basically number 1 and number 2. One of them will win an MVP this season. I want to look to guys that are making their impact right now, but aren't going to be at MVP level at this point. However, in the next 2 or 3 years, or even later on, they have a substantial chance of making an impact in the MVP race. So I'm looking at 5 guys that I'm like, dang, this is the guy you need to put your mark on right now. They're going to win an MVP. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. At number 5, I have the player with the least amount of experience in the NBA on this list, center Joel Embiid for the Philadelphia 76ers. In his first season, 33 games here, he's averaging 20.2 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists per game, and 2.5 blocks per game. And oh, by the way, did I mention that he averages only about 28 minutes per game? Joel Embiid has been somewhat of a superstar in Philadelphia after making his climb to the top of the food chain in the 76ers land. 76ers, the last couple seasons, probably actually since Allen Iverson left, have been pretty much relegated to worst team in the league status, and they weren't really contenders at all. And even though they're not exactly contenders this year, Joel Embiid has taught the 76ers fan base one thing, a very important thing: trust the process. The man has been going off like crazy. He's had a really, really good season here in his rookie year. The first 2 seasons that he was supposed to play, he had a foot injury. People were speculating if this man would ever touch the court, if he would ever play basketball again. He said in multiple interviews he was very depressed about his status and whether if he was going to be back on the court. But in his first season, he has made opportunities work, and even though he's got an injury right now that'll cost him probably close to the end of the season, Joel is still trying to make an impact for the 76ers team, and he's doing quite well at it. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great center. Nerlens Noel left, so he's not going to be exactly having to share a lot of space and time with other people. He'll have to do it with Jahlil Okafor, but we're not exactly sure what's going to happen with him. So with Embiid, you got to give this man a lot of props for what he's doing, trying to make his comeback. And the reason I put him at number 5 and not number 1 or number 2 is because he does play for an organization that doesn't necessarily have the right momentum to win at this moment. However, in the next couple of years, if Joel Embiid makes his promise, trusts the process, and gets this team starting to win, he could certainly be on the list for people to look forward to win an MVP in the next couple of seasons. So my number 5 pick here is center Joel Embiid for the Philadelphia 76ers. At number 4, we have the Greek freak of the Milwaukee Bucks, the guard slash small forward slash point guard slash whatever you really want him to be at this point. Let's see if I can get this name correctly. Giannis Antetokounmpo. If I said that incorrectly, I'm sorry, it's a freaking hard name to say. So for now on, when I pronounce Giannis, I'm going to be calling him the Greek freak. Greek Freak this season is averaging 23.5 points per game, 8.7 rebounds per game, and 5.4 assists per game. In his career, he's 14.3 points per game average, 6.7 rebounds per game, and 3.4 assists, and he's also a 2017 NBA All-Star starter. Giannis has done something in Milwaukee that's quite impressive. They're not really necessarily a winning team, but he's probably been one of the most improved players in the league. He's only 22 years old. He's been doing a lot of great things around every single position. You can make him at a point guard position. You can have a small forward. Hell, he'll probably play power forward or center at some point. The guy has done a lot of interesting things in his career, especially in this season. He's getting people hyped because he has a lot of athleticism, a lot of talent around him in terms of his skill and his ability to make plays that normally other players would not be able to make. He's a great rebounder. He knows exactly when to make the right assists at the right time. He can shoot very, very well. I think he's got one of the best shooting forms in the league. And for somebody that's in Milwaukee, a team that not necessarily is making the biggest point to everybody else in the league, somebody like Giannis is. He became a starter in the All-Star game with Eastern Conference legends like LeBron James and, Carmelo Anthony and the stuff of legends. So for me, Giannis has a lot of potential and a lot of upside, and even though Milwaukee's not a necessarily winning team, I think the Greek Freak has a great chance to be an MVP in the near future. So if he can get that team to win, get some more production on his side, and for help for him, I think Giannis could be a MVP very, very soon. So that's my number 4 pick, guard/small forward, Giannis. At number 3, I have point guard for the Boston Celtics, Isaiah Thomas. This season, he's averaging 29.7 points per game. That's absolutely ridiculous. 2.7 rebounds per game and 6.3 assists per game. And his career, he's averaging 18.7 points per game, 2.6 rebounds per game, and 5.2 assists per game. His awards and accomplishments include being a 2-time All-Star and also, very interestingly, being the last pick in the 2011 NBA Draft. He brings that up a lot. Now, if you listen to the intro, you heard me say there was one person that was an exception to the rules of either being 25 or younger or 5 seasons or younger. And this is the guy right here, Isaiah Thomas. The reason he's in this list and is able to be qualified for the list is the fact that when did you hear Isaiah Thomas before he moved to Boston? I mean, let's be honest. Not a lot of guys were pumping up the fact that Isaiah Thomas could one day be an MVP. But this season, he is shining like a G. 29.7 points per game. Are ya kidding me, my man? 5'8". The guy is a very talented point guard. And for a team like Boston, of course, most championships in the league, they want to win. They want to win. They've had great players over the years making different success rates. Of course, we saw back in 2008 when they had a Rajon Rondo and play with that big three of Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. You saw Rondo grow and mature and become one of the better point guards in the league. So you now have Isaiah Thomas, who's very, very good. And did I even mention, I haven't mentioned yet, the fact that he has one of the best fourth quarter stats in the league. I mean, the guy averages over 11 points per game in the fourth quarter alone. He's very, very talented. And I think this Boston team, which right now is striving to win championships, they're getting up there in the Eastern Conference. Isaiah Thomas could be the figure to get them over the hill and win some championships and win some MVPs. So stay tuned to look to Isaiah Thomas to win the MVP. That's my number 3 point guard, Isaiah Thomas of the Boston Celtics. At number 2, we have power forward/center of the New Orleans Pelicans, Anthony Davis. This season, he's averaging 27.9 points per game, 11.9 rebounds per game, and 2.1 assists per game. In his career, he's averaging 22 points per game, 10.1 rebounds per game, and 1.7 assists per game. His awards and achievements include being the All-Star Game MVP in 2017, scoring 52 points in that game, also being a 2-time blocks leader in the NBA, and being a 2012 NCAA champion for the Kentucky Wildcats, along with his newly found teammate, DeMarcus Cousins. Anthony Davis is a beast. The Brow has been doing it for a couple of years and making a big impact as the number 1 pick in the draft. I mean, the guy has done absolutely spectacular things on the court. 27.9 points per game for a big man is ridiculous at this point. He's just been bullying people through thick and thin. I mean, New Orleans isn't necessarily a team that has strived to win. And in fact, of the 4 guys that I've talked about so far, only one player has the team right now, capacity-wise, to win a championship at this moment in time. However, he did just find his teammate DeMarcus Cousins, so I think that's something to be looking forward to. Those 2 of the best big men in the league. Anthony Davis has had crazy stat lines. He's had almost quadruple doubles before, which is unprecedented for a man of his size. He just knows how to shoot, and he knows how to shoot outside the perimeter, which is one of the best things about him. He can go in hard, and overall, I think a lot of people are very excited to see what Anthony Davis can provide for New Orleans. He's been there for a couple of seasons, but now a lot of things are picking up, and possibly a chance to win some kind of playoff game or playoff rounds in the near future. So with him and DeMarcus Cousins, they could be a force to be reckoned with. And even though they're two monster stars, guys in Golden State are still getting MVPs with a bunch of guys on their roster. So Anthony Davis is certainly one to look forward to, especially a guy of his size. Number 2 is Anthony Davis. And at number 1, I have small forward for the San Antonio Spurs, Kawhi Leonard. This season, he's averaging 25.8 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, and 3.4 assists per game. In his career, he's averaging 15.9 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, and 2.2 assists per game. His achievements and awards include being an NBA champion and NBA Finals MVP in 2014. He's also been ranked the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Why is Kawhi Leonard number 1 on my list for 5 players destined to win the MVP? It's simple. He's an all-around talent that's got more than shooting in his range and arsenal, and also on the fact that he plays for a Greg Popovich-led team. Okay, look at some of the other teams that I mentioned on my list. Which coaches stack up with Greg Popovich? The answer is none. Okay, I like some of the coaches. Brad Stevens is a good coach. There's a couple of good coaches with the other 4 guys. However, Kawhi Leonard is with a leader and a winner in Greg Popovich. We've seen Kawhi Leonard become the next star for the San Antonio Spurs. They're all known about having great stars in there. We had the Tim Duncan era, Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker, making them stars and getting them multiple championships. Kawhi Leonard was a nice success to get in 2014, but we saw that he was very young. He was being groomed into the next position as the next star of the San Antonio Spurs. And Kawhi Leonard has made his promise. He's a fantastic defensive player. I love seeing this guy. This is why I hate a guy like James Harden, because he doesn't play defense for shit. He can score, but he doesn't play defense. Kawhi Leonard is an all-around talent. He doesn't just score. He doesn't just go and get rebounds. He goes and passes the ball over to other guys, helping them out, helping his team win. He's a team player. And that's what it is. An MVP is the most valuable player, somebody that can do everything on the court. He's a fantastic defensive player, and I just love how his intensity for the game, his love for the game, it kind of embles, it fits well with what Tim Duncan was doing back in his time of play. Of course, Tim Duncan retired this season, but Kawhi Leonard kind of shows me that Tim Duncan-esque feel, where he doesn't talk a lot, doesn't really show his personality as much. However, he gets the job done on the court, and he's a very, very good player to look forward to win the MVP. So my number 1 pick for 5 players destined to be the MVP in their career is Kawhi Leonard, small forward of the San Antonio Spurs. If you guys enjoyed this video, Gronk spike the like button, or actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and say we need a Leonard spike for this one, baby. Of course, comment below your thoughts. Is this list good? Are there other players deserving of it? There were a couple of players that I really like. I'm just not 100% sure they're going to be getting their MVP. So comment below. Who do you think will be getting MVP in the next 10 years or so, or in their career, under the age of 25 or 5 seasons or under? Of course, subscribe to the Bottom Line View. We're so close to 2,000. It's unbelievable. So we appreciate every single second that you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Of course, if you haven't told your buddies already, we're the best sports and wrestling channel on the planet. Thank you guys for watching. Still in for the Bottom Line View.